Hi there, we're in the home studio of Professor Ġorġ Mallia from the University of Malta, who has got a show coming up in 111 Art Gallery in Gzira on the 6th of March. It opens on the 6th and it runs until the 20th, and it's called Rhapsody in Pain, and it's a collection of beautiful images that he's created over the last 2 to 3 months. And we're here at his studio to talk to him about how he creates his magical work.
I begin with an emotion. There's an emotion, there's a feeling, and I want to convey that feeling through the backdrop and through a figure that is contorted in such a way that it actually reflects the feeling. In this case, this female figure is feeling betrayed. Okay, now, betrayed by what? Well, betrayed by a lover, betrayed by life, betrayed by whatever. So you begin with an empty canvas, and then I slowly start layering different brushes with different effects, using different saturations. As you can see, sort of one thing is loading on top of the other. And what I was trying for here, the emotion, is of course the lashes of light, the sudden feeling of betrayal, of, you know, almost spears of light spearing you through the heart, through the emotions, through the mind. And the different colors, the very, very bright colors, are there on purpose. I'll come to the figure in a bit. And there's a shadow there as well, okay, as you can see. So everything sort of overlays, you see that. I usually create a dark backdrop in order for it to actually pop out even more.
So it stands out even more, yeah.
I'm using lots and lots of different layers, different layer styles, as I said, different transparencies, playing around with the colors, throwing away a lot, starting from scratch very often, so etc, etc. The figure, on the other hand, I'm going to show a finished figure here, and I'll show you how sort of it's drawn later on. As you can see, is definitely posed, so melodramatically showing the effect of the betrayal on her. Obviously, this is a mime, so we do need to exaggerate, we do need to make it larger than life, because it is miming. And what she's doing is clearly larger than life, you know, sort of the scream at the effect of the betrayal on her in this case. And the shadow in order to make sure that, you know, it looks very, very three-dimensional. And the painting is finished. It takes a little bit longer than I've just been describing.
So you're using this, this is a tablet,
Yeah.
so you're drawing directly onto the screen here into Photoshop.
I work either on the Cintiq, this one, the Wacom Cintiq, or I actually sometimes also for the figure. It's not the first time that I have actually worked on the iPad Pro using the pencil, of course. I actually started one here sort of to show you how it's done. But there you go. Yeah. But you use what I mean. So it's very, very simple. You just basically, it's a simple drawing. I use photos of models. Sometimes I've taken myself, others I've used from stock photos. And then I sort of draw them directly onto either the iPad Pro or on the Cintiq. And then of course it's all a question of layering. I am using an extremely old technique, which is cross-hatching. It's basically Victorian, and before that even, because of course it imitates the old etchings, as you know. So what I've done is I've sort of mixed the abstract backgrounds that through the overlay of colors and shapes actually convey the emotion I was trying to convey, and at the same time linking to it a very classical style of drawing, so the figure. So it really is spanning the ages in a sense. So there's the classical and there's the, I was about to say modern, it's not really modern, let's just say the abstract conveying of those emotions. I think they work nicely together.
And you have one of your finished pieces, I believe it's called Inferno, to show us, so that we can see how the layers are built up within a finished piece.
As you can see,
here we go.
There we go. The build-up is there. I sometimes copy and paste, obviously. So what you saw there with the yellow, there were the same motif, which I then copied and pasted 3 or 4 times on top of each other. Sometimes enlarging one, lowering another, you know, in order to create a dynamic, as dynamic a shape as possible. And you can see it building up, look. In this case, Inferno obviously means the torment that the person is going through. And there it is. it is a fun process. As you know, Laura,
Mm-hmm.
painting is really something you do on the run.
Mm-hmm.
It's you have an idea of where you want to go with it, but then in the end, whether you do that brushstroke or another is decided at that point in time.
Yeah.
Okay, and sometimes that brushstroke doesn't quite work, so you need to get rid of it. And the wonderful thing about Photoshop is you can get rid of it. If you're working with oils, you
Oh,
can't.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or acrylics, you can't really. You'll need to sort of overlay and overlay and overlay.
It's the beauty of it, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I work in a similar way to you. You know, I don't get it right first time. I'm constantly changing my mind, erasing things. So Photoshop for me is brilliant.
Yeah, it wouldn't it be
Yeah.
wonderful if we had Photoshop for life? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Undo.
Yeah. Control Z.
That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
that is how it's done.
But also, this is a new era, really. It's only been in the last few years that people are using iPads and tablets
And mixing
yeah.
everything all together, which is
Yeah,
absolutely
so-
wonderful.
so
That
it's a-
really works brilliantly.
Even if people have done it before, it's a relatively new combination
It
that's
is,
actually
it is.
possible now that wasn't before. So.
Although I'm using
yeah.
the sort of classical figures with the
You are, but you
crosshatch
still,
and
yeah.
which I don't know. It's an, I think it's I mean the whole series is 37 images.
Mhm.
I'm actually in the exhibition showing 24 of them,
Mhm.
and there is a bit of a formula, if you like, but it's a formula I've created myself.
Mm.
So I suppose it's an original in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for showing us.
It's a pleasure, Laura.
And we're really looking forward to the show,
I am too.
which once again is opening on the 6th of March and it runs till the 20th of March. So that's a good 2 weeks for
Yep.
people to come along.
The opening is on the 6th of March in the evening.
Yes. And it's 111 Art Gallery in Gzira.